it goes live. Okay. I am going to share screen.
Look how much you know.
Come on. Oh, it's a window. It's this. Okay, this plays for 3 minutes.
We look so small.
Okay. Hello, 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 beautiful, powerful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the live. Let's situate this just a little bit more because we're just coming online here. I want to make sure that we're both on. I guess we have to go this way now. It was on Zoom, it was the opposite. So hello, everybody. My name is Laurie Majka. I am the host of the Laurie Majka YouTube channel where we interview people who have had amazing experiences. Blaze is making an appearance. She's trying to come up here and say hi like she always does for everybody. But today you can see I have a special guest, my friend Kristen Hustead. And Kristen is actually the most appeared on my channel. I think she's been on the show 6 times, maybe 6 times, maybe. So the most recent appearance that Kristen made was on the conversation we had where she channeled Sophia. So for those of you who are not familiar with what happened, we did a conversation together where we Kristen had a channeled message from Sophia, the wisdom of ages, the female Christ consciousness. And she talked about some earth changes that were going to be happening, and specifically a prediction of an earth rift, an earthquake in the San Francisco area. And after started seeing a multitude of other spiritual channelers saying the same message in the same time frame. I'm seeing anywhere between February 17th and February 20th. This is not meant to be a fearful message, even if there are people who are living in California. My daughter lives in San Diego. This is meant to be a message to help people prepare and maybe help you to raise your vibration so that whatever's happening on a dimensional level is something that you're not left behind from. So I know everybody's soul has made some kind of decision. And so we posted this, and then geophysicist Stephen Burns shared multiple videos about cluster earthquakes that were happening in San Francisco and some predictions that he's made, some solar flare related to plasma ejection. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in the world. But the way that I always start these conversations is that, first of all, after welcoming you, I welcome you to ask any question that you would like to ask. You can ask a question of just me. You can answer a question for Kristen. We're both in the spiritual place. So for sure, we can speak to anything that is spiritual. And if you just have other comments or questions, feel free to share them. You can start putting these in the comment section right now, and we're going to get to them in a little bit. But the way that I always kick off these lives is that I like to talk about synchronicities that happened over the past week. And this week, I am sharing a massive synchronicity. Now, look, you guys, I've been getting synchronicities and signs for a long time, and my synchronicities and signs really accelerated in soulmate Mark, who I wrote a book about called Signs Surround You, where I recorded the first 2 years of signs he sent me. So I'm used to getting signs, license plate signs, signs with music, signs with people saying something almost as an answer to different questions that are happening. But I have to tell you that the signs around my friend Kristen here blew my socks off. And I'm still reeling from the craziness of the signs that I received around Kristen. So I'm going to tell this story. It's probably a 5-minute story, but the reason I tell you these things is because although it can feel like you're in your individual little silo having your own life experience, we are in a web of connection. We are one another. And so we are interconnected through dimensions, which we probably really can't fully understand while we're in this human incarnation. But signs and synchronicities are meant to help confirm things that are going on in your life. And to actually, when I told Kristen about this, I feel like it helped confirm all the things that you were getting. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'm going to tell this very complex synchronicity that happened around Kristen. So I was supposed to be in Philadelphia for my corporate job on a business trip. It was fully booked. I had flights, I had meetings scheduled, and a friend of mine who I used to work with a long time ago, I haven't worked with him since 2017, and he has never taken a trip to Arizona since I left that company in 2017. But he called me saying he had a business trip for one day and wanted to meet me for dinner. But of course, I'm booked to be in Philadelphia and not Arizona. And so I told him if anything changed, I would let him know, because there were storms brewing on the East Coast during that time. And there were some rumblings from people on my team that maybe we were going to get snowed out of that trip. But in any case, he reached out to somebody else, another colleague that he currently works with, and scheduled time to have dinner with her. Well, my trip got canceled with the snow. And so I reached out to him, and he's like, well, sorry, I already invited somebody else, but I'd love to have dinner with both of you. So let's all have dinner together. So since he was coming in, he asked me for recommendations of restaurants. I gave them a list of 8 restaurants, and they picked probably my favorite restaurant on the list, which was a sushi place. So I met him, and we got to the dinner, and the other woman was going to arrive outside of after we got there. And when she got there, the first thing she said to me is, I almost didn't come to this dinner because I just got back from San Francisco last night. Now, I had not told my friend Gary anything about what was going on with the synchronicities around Kristen. And I didn't know this girl. I've never met her before. And I wasn't going to say anything to her either. But I just thought, how interesting that I keep on getting all of these San Francisco confirmations. So after that happened, we were just having a normal conversation, and she shared kind of a tragic event that had happened in her life where something had happened to her house. And after she told her story, I explained to her that I have this YouTube channel and I have the privilege of talking to people with NDEs. And I talked about life reviews and how when people go through a life review, but not just from their perspective, but from the perspective of others around them. And I hoped that as she knew this, that this person who had done this terrible thing to her would have to relive all the feelings that he caused for her and her family around this incident. And so I've kind of opened the door to like a little bit of spirituality with a person I have no idea how they're going to take this. And she's like, I totally believe in all that stuff. That's great. Well, about 5 minutes later, I had never noticed music in the 10 times I had been in this restaurant, but Hold the Line by Starship began playing over the loudspeakers, not quietly, but at full blast. Like it jarred me out of the booth. Gary, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Because he's been with me when we used to travel. This used to happen all the time when we were together. And he's like, of course, this is still happening to you. And so the woman across the table started sharing that after her dad died, she got signs like I do where the radio freezes and has a specific song. And she was getting, I think, 10,000 years or something like that would play for her dad. And so because this all happened, she told me about a really cool synchronicity that happened to her. Her dad had bought a house on a golf course, and he picked a lot that they said he would never get a golf ball in his yard. And when he died, her dad loved Krispy Kreme, so they buried him in a Krispy Kreme t-shirt, and all the grandchildren and the siblings put a single Krispy Kreme glazed donut in his casket. And then they were working at his house, clearing his stuff out of his house, and her kids were swimming in the pool, and a golf ball rolled under the fence and into the pool, and her son picked it up, and it had a Krispy Kreme logo on it. So now we're full-blown spiritual conversations at this dinner. And then all of a sudden, she starts saying to me, do you know who Kristen Hustead is? And I'm like, what? She said, do you know who Kristen Hustead is? I was like, yes. I just interviewed her. I just released a video on my channel. And she said, I was in San Francisco this weekend because my daughter's at school there. And I listened to the interview that you did with Kristen while I was driving across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And she said, my heart is beating out of my chest. I cannot believe that this happened. This just happened. It was a Tuesday. It happened on Sunday. So she's freaking out. And then she says, I've known Kristen for 10 years. I've traveled with Kristen. I know her husband. Like, what are the chances? So think about all these things that had to happen. My friend Gary had to come to visit me in a place he had never traveled since 2017. He'd never had an opportunity to have a business trip here. My trip had to get canceled because of a snowstorm. And we had to have these little synchronistic conversations in order to find out that she knew Kristen personally. And Kristen lives an hour and a half from me. And this woman lives at almost 45 minutes away from where I live. What are the chances that this random person would have gotten invited to a dinner with me at the same time? And she felt like it was a confirmation from her about what was going to happen in San Francisco. So without further ado, I'm going to let you say a few words about that. And I'm going to take a look and see what's going on in the comments and see what people want to know from you.
So you want me to talk about the confirmation or just anything?
Whatever you would like to, however you'd like to share.
Sure.
Yeah.
So first of all, anything that with fear-based, I don't want to, there's nothing fear that I want to portray through this, but I did back in December get some information in my morning meditation and my journaling when I go into deep meditation, and it came randomly about this earth rift off the coast of California near San Francisco. And so it really shocked me, and it kept coming day after day. And so therefore that led me to this place right now. And so it's been fascinating just to walk through all this and just to feel like sometimes like it feels like it's real, and then other times it feels like it isn't, and it feels like it's happening possibly, and it's not. And so there really has been a lot of progress as far as what I have been getting intuitively through the messages, the wisdom messages I'm getting from Sophia, who's known as the feminine essence of the Holy Spirit. And that all being called like channel and all that stuff to me is just not, it's not my cup of tea to be even called that, but I am an intuitive and I get messages and I do it for a living. So I work on reading energy. And so I guess I'm a good translator. As I told Laurie, I'm just a translator. They must have picked me. So I'm just the messenger. So what I've noticed lately is as the messages are coming through and this message, we're going through some sort of evolutionary shift. We're leaving the age of Kali Yuga stage and we're going into the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius means the age of enlightenment, coming back to remembering who you are. And so this shift that is possibly, like I think you had talked about it earlier, the 17th through the 20th, there just is there's something energetically happening there. And you know, us humans, you know, we hear Earth Rift. Is it metaphorical? Is it actually going to happen? And so, you know, I've been holding loosely to everything. And so as I just have been observing, and truly it's been really difficult for me personally to be in this spot because I and you, we both love just only positive, loving things. But if this is something that will help people and something that awakens people, then I'm all in. And so therefore, the messages that have been coming through lately are that it's going to be like a step of faith. There's like a dimensional shift is what the last message came yesterday. And on February 8th, it came as a step of faith. So they keep saying through all these messages for the last, since December 1st, is keep trusting in your heart, trust in your knowing, have the faith of a mustard seed, and you will be catapulted into safety. And I don't know in my human mind, what does that mean? But I do know about dimensions. And because of the work I do, I know that there are different layers to reality. And so if anything I can get through all this is there is a evolutionary shift happening, and we're all being called to awaken to who we truly are, which is not this vehicle, this physical body that we are, but more of our spiritual nature. And our I am nature is what they keep saying. We are a spark of the divine. We are a spark of light here on earth to become all that we can be. And so, you know, yes, you know, the Earth Rift came with a date, but is it metaphorical? Is it going to happen in real life? I don't know, but there is a lot of energy around those dates. So I've been holding loosely to it, and just the message again, that you will be guided, and there'll be some sort of dimensional shift. Don't know what that means, but somehow you will be led to safety. That's what they keep saying. This is our promise to you. They also said, they keep saying the choice point is yours. As we move into this age of Aquarius, this age of enlightenment, we have a choice point, fear or faith. And the fear energy is leaving, is what they keep saying. That fear energy cannot be sustained in this new era that we're going into. Now, remember, it's an evolutionary shift, so they don't just happen overnight. Yeah. We are going to be shifting. And from what I've gotten from Sophia, this wisdom of ages, is that it could take hundreds of years for us to fully go through this shift. But for those who are ready, you can walk into that awakening now. And so again, it's going to be on an individual. Align yourself to love and gratitude for everything. Be non-judgmental and be open to change, and they will meet you there. And so long story short, that's kind of like the messages I've been getting this whole couple months. Mm-hmm. And again, I want to say that I had a really difficult time with this. I had a really difficult time just being up here doing this, but because what I do for a living, and because I've said this so many times on my YouTube channel, because I read energy for a living, and I've been so accurate, not like, oh, I've been accurate, but I get to test my energy for the last 9 years. I get to test my readings with people, and it's been spot on. So then when, you know, as someone who is me, what I do for a living, I get a message like this, I have to deliver it. They basically said, you know, deliver it. Just walk in faith. And so I'm holding loosely to everything. So I don't know if that helps kind of set the stage.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch chairs with you because I can't read all the comments without my whole face in the camera.
Yeah.
So sorry. We're going to do a little switcheroo.
Yeah.
Okay. This will be better. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to get to the comments because you guys are talking in here. I see you with the twin flames. We'll come back to that one. What I want to say first is You know what's really helpful in the comments? When you make these comments, if you can also put your name in there, so I'm not calling you by your call name, because some of these call names are really hard to, it's not like it's pronouncing them right, and you've got a bunch of numbers in here, but Taiba Mama said she predicted the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989, and we moved away 17 days before it hit. Whoa. So there's somebody who's feeling your situation, Kristen. So there's that one. Okay. Well, I'll come back to the twin. All right, synchronicity. Thank you. I love it when you guys share your synchronicities too. Synchronicity. My daughter was an infant back then and now lives a block from the beach in San Francisco. I flew in from overseas in a last-ditch attempt to convince her to leave, but she refuses. All right, let's speak to that.
Right. So again, there are two messages coming out this week on my channel, and so one is to walk in faith. So they keep saying, if you align to this change, again, they keep saying you can't logistically think of this with your linear brain. So we got to kind of set that aside and just allow for the infinite possibilities, talking about living energetics. So with that being said, they're talking about walking in faith and then some sort of dimensional shift, some sort of like, hey, if you believe that you're supposed to stay where you're supposed to stay and you are 100% in your heart, like, yes, I'm going to stay, then trust that, because your heart is being guided. And they keep talking about this is a heart time that we're moving into. And then in the message that they gave on the dimensional shift in my channel, they talk about your heart alignment, and they're talking to our heart. So the heavenly realm is talking to our heart constantly. And so they will guide each person. And so I would say to that person, allow your daughter to do her thing. And when I was getting these messages, what I also kind of got was this download of, like, if you were going to leave for a job, let's say you wanted to leave and you wanted to become an artist, but your job currently supports your family, you have kids, you've got insurance, and you logistically go, I can't leave. But your heart wants to go and be an artist, right? And so if you make the decision to leave that job in fear and you go to be that artist, you're going to align yourself to fear, and it's going to be a difficult path because you're not in full alignment to the decision you made. Okay, this is what they're saying. So if you decide to leave a job or to move or whatever, you can put that, insert whatever works for you. And you have 100% faith. What I'm getting, I'm just the messenger. What I'm getting is you will be okay. It's like it's a heart line dimensional shift, and it doesn't make sense to me on a human level. But we're moving into very unusual times, I believe. We're coming into awakening of who we truly are. And again, not compressing reality with our thoughts, but allowing, they keep talking about the wonder and mystery of life and almost like living in a fairy tale. And I know all this sounds so haphazard, like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. So they say, if you can't do that, if you can't stay somewhere and be in 100% faith and alignment to that's where your heart is, then let's go back to the person with the job. So if it makes more sense to you to stay in the job that you are so that you are safe, so that your soul feels safe, and then maybe you baby step over to getting a different job one day, that would be a better alignment to your heart. And so that's what they're saying also with moving, if you are in a place of moving. And I hope I'm not talking too grand, because it is dimensions that we're talking about. But again, I'm just the messenger. I literally am just the messenger, trying my best to deliver what I'm hearing with clarity. So I hope that answers your question. I think your daughter needs to just go into her heart and just trust, and somehow she'll be okay.
I'm telling my daughter the same thing. We had
and
a
son.
Your son's in San Diego. My daughter's in San Diego. We've had these conversations, and
I think I truly feel in my heart. I just came back from a conference in California, and I got that vibe of like, it's some sort of dimensional shift. And okay, so what Sophia keeps saying and what this wisdom we have never been here before. So how can we know? How can we understand? So we got to keep going, walk with faith, walk with faith. And I've walked with faith just in delivering this. Yes. When I went into fear, I'm going to be truly honest with you guys, I thought I was almost going to have a nervous breakdown, just the severity of this message, and if it helps people, I'm so all in, but I am not about predicting anything. I'm about helping with empowering us in this age of enlightenment, this age of waking up to more than we have ever known. And so if it takes a date and this is what they're doing for us to wake up, then that's good, right? I don't know. So again, I hope I was clear on
And
that.
Kristen,
Yeah.
how many conversations before we actually did our interview did we have about you not wanting to give this date? I can't count. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Like this is a big deal. You've never been given a date before. You didn't want to give a date, and they wouldn't leave you alone over and over and over
Right.
again.
And what I've learned in my own life, because I do this work and helping people guide them on their healing journey, I just trust and I just know. Like when they told me to move to a healing farm, I told my husband, I think we're moving. He's like, Kristen, I'm like, they're telling me we're moving. So I listen. It's just
You had dreams about it.
Yeah.
You had dreams about it.
Exactly. So there has been so many synchronicities in my own life, and I have just learned to trust and let go of how I compress it and try to figure. In moving to a healing farm, that took 2.5 years. So I let go of timing. So I think if anything, we just need to hold loosely to this evolutionary shift they're in. But where we're going is what they said is so much greater than where we've ever been. And we couldn't even wrap our heads around it. So it's more of a letting go with an excitement and trusting your heart.
And have they talked about some of these things that we have had, abilities that we have had that have been suppressed coming back online?
Yes.
Can we talk to that a little bit? Because I think that this is a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
You're like everybody here, there's no accident if you're here.
Right.
Your soul's already made the choice about what you're doing. And likely if you're here, you're staying and you're going into the dimension and you're part of
that means.
You're part of the ripple. You're part of what helps the collective to go to the next phase, because you're already in a place of knowing and a place of power.
So I love that you said that, Laurie, because over and over again in these messages, I think I have like 40 now on my channel of just, I'm trying to pick the ones that they tell me that help to build the picture of where we're at. But they constantly say, we create our reality with our words, deeds, thoughts, and actions when they align to our heart. So basically the beliefs. So they always say it cannot be. If we have decided on a collective level where, you don't realize like, oh, I didn't choose that. But on a soul level, we have decided to move forward into this age of enlightenment. And so in order to move forward, we must change the way we look at reality. We must start to decompress the compressed reality and start to go into the wonder and mystery of life and start to say, how good can it get? They keep saying, ask open-ended questions. How good can this get? How good can my finances get? How good can my life get? How good can my love get? How good can my family get? Whatever it is, ask open-ended questions, and then you don't compress reality anymore, and you allow for this wonder and mystery to come, right? And so it makes sense to me when I think of like, if reality is created by us, both individually and collectively, in order to move into a new state, we have to be pushed up against a wall so that we finally go, oh. So if I lived in California, I'd be like, hey, what I do want? I want a sunny day. I want this. I want love and peace. And I am going to stay in that vibration. And I just am, because this is what they're telling us. We create our reality. So there's some sort of dimensional shift. And then they said, if you align to fear, they say it's okay. It's okay, because all paths are learning paths, and your path might be a little more denser, but it's still a learning path, because we are in school. This earthly home is our school to grow our soul. Nothing more, nothing less is what they keep saying. And so for a lot of us who have been on this awakening path, we're like, yeah, I get that. But some of us who really were this earthly, densely body, and that's all we are, well, it might feel like a stretch. And so they say it's perfect. All you want to do is align to some part of change and the hope that there's something greater out there. That's all they say. It's a faith of a mustard seed, they keep saying. So,
and just because you prepared doesn't mean that you don't have faith. I have complete faith. But when I had John Peterson, the futurist, on my show last April, and he talked about some of these changes, a collapse of the money system and some of these other things that he had been predicting for a long time, I kind of freaked out. And I was having a conversation with my friend Jeremiah, who's also been on the show a lot. And I was expressing, like, what do I do? Do I need to really start saving up and having food? Like, I don't have enough stuff to live for a week. I just don't have a bunch of supplies. And as we were having that conversation, the Jeep went by with a license plate that said "not now." And I let it go and I didn't think about it again. And when this came up again, I didn't have any of those signs. All of my signs were around San Francisco. Like, for example, I had a guy I interviewed last April, and I thought I put his interview on the channel, and I wanted to add him to a playlist. And when I searched him, I couldn't find him. I discovered I never edited his interview. And I sat down to edit it, and I pull it up, and he's wearing a San Francisco sweatshirt. Like, come on, like, I cannot make this kind of stuff up. So this time I am prepared. I have enough dog food for 3 months. I have some dry goods and some food. I have a filter for my pool. I have a little energy pack. I have a propane tank. And you know what? As soon as I did all of that, every ounce of fear left my body because it didn't matter now. I mean, not that I don't care, and please do not take that as not caring. I care deeply. I don't want to see pain or suffering for anybody. I'm like about the love that's on the other side and trying to bring that in. That's what this channel is about. But once I felt like I was prepared, I no longer felt any fear around this because it's just done. I've done everything I needed to do, checked all the boxes, and now whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm just trying to stay in the present moment. So being able to have Kristen come, who I don't get to see often enough in person, and she drove 90 minutes up here to have this conversation with us live. And for us to be able to be together, you bet I'm just sitting in the present, like enjoying my company, enjoying my friendship. And I do that with my dog or whatever I'm doing. If I'm editing, I try and be in the present moment. You cannot be miserable when you are living in the present moment. I mean, you can react to things that are happening. Sure, you can drop a pan on your toe and, you know, it really hurt. So you can have experiences in the present moment. But when you're living in the past and you're living in the future, it's a lot harder to stay in a higher vibration because we have these things that bring us down, these experiences. Let's go to the comments a little bit more and let's look at what some other people are saying. So I know Kelly said she got chills at one point. Predicted the earthquake. Her name is Susan. So hi, Susan. Thank you for being here. Kelly said, could it be in motion because of free will?
Yes. So they keep talking about free will. They definitely keep talking about free will. So we have free will here. And again, they can't come in and guide us without our permission. So that's why every day I'm like, hey, I'll take some guidance. I'll take some help. And so we have free will and we create our own reality with our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions aligned with our heart. And so I think that that's a great point that we, you know, they keep saying, align yourself with what you do want, not what you don't want. And I will say, just a little touch on what Laurie was saying. For years, I heard Ann Tucker, right, and some other people talking about this earth rift. And I had gotten messages about an earthquake, but I was like, I'm not going to go there because earthquakes happen. Like
there's like 6 a day on the planet.
Yeah, so
it's not an unusual thing. I mean, a lot of them are in the ocean, but.
Right. So then I used to tell my husband, like, yeah, I'm just going to always just create a utopia in my life. And he's like, well, Kristen, things happen. I go, well, I'm just going to always, because I understand the nature reality with how I work. So I was always, even when you had told me about that John, the futurist, I was like, yeah, I don't even want to go there because I don't want to go there. These messages from the wisdom of ages, who is here to connect heaven and earth together, is that you guys need to stay in the vibration of what you do want, not what you don't want. And like Laurie said, every moment, one moment creates the next moment, creates the next moment. And then pretty soon you have the trajectory of your life and it lifts you up in what we've been calling dimensions. And it lifts you up into a higher frequency where you are feeling peaceful and you're feeling very taken care of. And nothing changed but your perception.
And isn't that a free will choice?
That's a free will choice. So anyways, these are big concepts. I get it because again, we have been so in this 3D realm that yes, A plus B equals C. But in my business, I saw a long time ago through just different healings that happened that did not make sense. I'm like, okay, there must be a dimension that we're not aware of.
Blaze usually makes an appearance in all the lives. She was having a hard time because we're in the chairs sitting together, but man, she could not get enough of Kristen when Kristen got here. She loves Kristen.
So, oh, there goes
Beautiful.
your chicken.
Okay, I know.
She's like, great.
Okay. So, oh, hi, Tammy. Thank you for joining. Oh, piano my toe. Okay, let's see. I love that you had the courage to say a date. Mostly these predictions don't work out. I think that time could be different. Lots of tremor, sun activity, planetary alignments. Yeah, look at Stephen Burns. But let's talk about time, because time is that was one of the big conversations Kristen and I had before you decided to come and share a date, because for the other side, time is different, right? And we've had lots of conversations with NDEers. I've been on the other side. Kristen, you've been in your meditations on the other side. So right now we're in this linear time constraint, right? And it goes like this. But on the other side, time goes like this. And so it's a lack of a constraint on it. And when I've experienced eternity was not a time constraint. It was a state of being, and it was an ever-present moment. Yeah. And so let's talk about time and what you feel about that, because that was definitely a consideration in all this.
Right. So the angels, so there's many beautiful angelic beings that have coming through. I guess I'm a big radio station right now. And it's kind of funny because it's like, oh, who's going to come through today? And I'm really honored. But they all go, now is the best day. The time is now. Everything's now. And because they don't have a sense of time, and they always do say, you early people love dates. and they're, a million years to them is like a blink of an eye. There's no time. So for me personally, I've known that I would be doing this message for how long ago? Like 6 years is when I got the message that I would be doing this. And it freaked me out, to be honest. I was like, holy cow, like it kind of freaked my husband out, because I said, I got this message and it was very much about this time that we're in. Okay, that took 6 years. And to be honest, for a while, I'm like, really? Did I really hear what they said? Because it's been 6 years. Okay, so maybe we can let go of timing, maybe, right? And maybe we just trust our heart, and we just know that we're in some sort of evolutionary shift, because all I know is anything I've ever gotten from the angelic realm, from the higher realm, from our source God creator, it happens eventually. And so I don't know, maybe that's another thing, but I did get a date. Okay. That's the weird thing.
Okay. So I'm going to call Tammy out. Tammy, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here on the live. Tammy is in the comments on almost every single one of my videos. She makes me smile. She really adds a lot to the channel. Like, I don't think people understand, like, engagement is a big component of YouTube and how they decide who gets to see these videos. You don't hear me like, Diary of a CEO going, subscribe. I mean, seriously, 83% of people on my channel are not subscribed who regularly watch it. That's a lot. That means a very small percentage of what you see are the people who are subscribed. And I feel blessed every time somebody hits the subscribe button. But more important than that, the thing I really care about on my channel is building a community that people have a safe place to express what they are seeing and feeling when these videos hit them, because this is all about you. I want you to be able to wake up. I want you to be able to have a life that you're in love with. And I think that when we change our perceptions about how things are, we take our power back. Like, when you understand everything is happening for you, not to you, that you picked this life, that you picked your parents, that you picked these experiences, good or bad, to have so that you could create certain allowed you to, for the joy of the experience, have an experience that affects not you, but the whole collective. So Tammy, thank you so much, because you write comments all the time that help engage people. I know people read them, and it just tells YouTube that, hey, send this to more people. So Tammy wanted to ask about how she can become the radio station, since you mentioned that. So tell me, look, Kristen and I have been on a spiritual journey for a long time. There was no accident in how our friendship started and came together. We used to hike together whenever we could. And for 6 years, I've been telling Kristen, you're going to be a known healer one of these days. Like, I think your time is really coming. I was with you when you would have dreams about your healing farm, and we would be like, how is this going to happen? I remember you'd be like, we'd be walking up to Black Mountain. How is this going to happen? Like, and who knows? Like, it just happens.
And it's so cute because my healing farm really is just our house right now. So if anyone thinks that I've got some biggest institution right now, well, it will be coming. But right now it's just my house and my casita, which I did one-on-one healing.
You have a little bit of land.
And I have a little, like we have alpacas. So I bring, but yes. So you had said something earlier about, you had said something when I was going to say something. Shoot.
You should just jumped in. Just jump in and interrupt me, please, please, please.
Sorry. But anyways, so, how you become a channel, how you become a
radio station.
Watch out what you ask for is all I'm going to say. Watch out. So I would sit, gosh, for 9 years now, just because of the work I do as an intuitive and a body worker and a Reiki and grief and trauma counselor and stuff, I sit every morning in quiet meditation, and I have not missed a day. And I empty myself of who I think I am on this earth. And I ask for divine guidance and divine wisdom and divine remembrance, because we're all from pure love. Like, we are from source. So every day I would just sit there, and to be honest, like for the first couple of years when I would sit in meditation, I'm like, I can only go for literally 2 minutes without my monkey brain. But I kept at it because I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. And I just kept getting like knowings. At first it was like a knowing, like I know this and I know that. And then it would be like, you'd start to hear words and you start to hear direction. And then as I started to work on my clients, I started to not only hear words about their lives, but I'd see visions, and then I'd get smells, and I would get emotions. Like my emotions would tie in with theirs, and I'd say, hey, this is what you're feeling, and this is what you went through as a child, and so forth. So I just started to just slowly dial into my intuitive abilities. And then I started to work remotely. I think one of the first people remotely was your sister. And that's when I found that she had that benign breast tumor. And we had a little argument at the time, not an argument, but I was like, I think you have something on your left breast. And she's like, no, it was my right. And I go, no, it's your left. And so she went and got it checked, and it was benign. But so then, so it's testing. You guys.
My sister was on the show. My sister did a live with me not very long ago. She had 2 near-death experiences. Her name is Stephanie Teeter, Teater. If you want to look her up and listen to her NDE, which is really good too. But anyway,
So just start testing. I do teach an intuitive mastery class. I had one today, and everyone wants to go like, I'm just going to use Storm's ball, like, Blaze. Whoops, Blaze.
I know. Sorry. Storm was my dog who died a year ago.
So like, we want to hold on to like, this is my intuition. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to manipulate it. But really, intuition is just, it's ethereal. It's a knowing. It comes from within. And so we have to kind of let go of holding on to something. And if you want to open up your intuitive knowing, it's more of a trust. And then just test it. Like, hey, Laurie, I just felt like are you sad about something? Or, whatever it is that you feel, or is your right hip hurting, or anything like that? Like, test it with your friends, and you'll start to get your I will say, for the last year, I would sit in meditation. I felt like there was a bunch of angels just sitting in front of me, but I couldn't see them very well. I'm like, oh, what are you guys trying to tell me? And then I had my breakthrough. And I do say I do eat cleanly, and I try to stay away from a lot of social media, because that clogs me personally. And I stay in high vibration by being out in nature. So
I'm the same thing. I don't consume any news. I've talked about this ad nauseum, probably for most of you, if you've been watching a lot of my videos. I don't watch any news. It's been 10 years since I've lived here, and I haven't watched anything.
I don't watch.
I also have XM radio, so I don't listen to any commercials. So I never have to listen to any of the political stuff. And I don't watch any commercials, even on YouTube. Like, I'm not, no commercials, no news, no nothing.
Right. And some people would think, well, then you're living in a hole. But if we think about our reality is created by our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions aligned with our heart. If you are in fear, or if you're in worried about the politics, or worried about anything, and worried about what we're talking about here, that's not the vibration that anything should become from. It should become coming from a place of peace, because we're creating our own reality, is what I keep getting. And so if you can stay in a high vibration, what they're saying through these messages is you not only will change your reality, but you will help the collective. And we are in an evolutionary shift. And the only way that we are going to cross this evolutionary shift is if we're all staying out of non-judgment. Sorry, I mean, for all of us, that's for all of us.
That's a tough one.
I get it. But non-judgment, love, gratitude, and alignment to change, and being willing to decompress your beliefs. Look at them one at a time. I believe that was today's message. Was that from
yours? Was Archangel
Raphael?
Yeah.
Maybe the other day was about taking a look at each belief that you have and asking, is this for my highest good? Okay. And trust that you're going to be guided, because everything is within. So don't worry about looking outside of yourself anymore. You have a wellspring is what they're saying within. And this will lead you to places you cannot only fathom how great it is. Because when we look outside of ourselves, we get confused and we get lost and we aren't home. So this is home. And then I always tell my clients, you fill yourself up and then you can give out. You can't give out from an empty vessel. It just doesn't work. You fill yourself up with love and then it comes out that way. So,
and you have to trust that if there's something that you need to know, people will tell you. I have people in my life who will call and say, hey, this happened, but I don't need to know every detail about it. I need to stay in the vibration to do the work that I'm doing here. And maybe that's the same for you. I don't miss any of it. And it's actually very jarring when I'm around it. Like I was at my parents' house just for dinner on Sunday, and it was Super Bowl Sunday. And I was like, ooh, TV on, ooh, ads. Like I haven't been around that for a really long time. And also, Tammy, who are you asking who is engaged? So Kristen's married. And I am
19 years old.
I am definitely not engaged. I'm not dating anybody. So no, I don't have time for anybody right now. I am working 2 full-time jobs, like maybe when the corporate gig is done, but we'll see.
But I've been together with my husband for 19 years and I often laugh. I'm like, what did we sign up for? He's like, I don't know, Kristen, where are you taking me? I'm like, I don't know. And we would just laugh. I go, you're in this just as much as me. Because so every time I have to pull him along, like, Mike, I think we're going here. He's like, oh, Kristen. And then he comes along and I'm like, and he settles in.
Did you say 19 years?
We were 19 years old and
yes,
we've been married.
Not 19. You've been together since 30, you were 19. I was like, sorry. Your kids are older than that.
We've been together since 19 years old. We've been married for 30. We're going on 39 years. So.
Yeah. Long
now
time.
You know how old I am.
That's okay. You do the math. No problem. Who cares? Trips around the sun, right? Okay. All right. So I know, hold on a second. Let me go back to her. I see you in the comments all the time. For a second on all of my videos. I super appreciate you. I smile every time I see your name, and it's Persphobie. Oh, what is it? Hold on a second. Please tell me what your real name is if you're still on. And you asked a question about twin flames. So
that's interesting.
I'll speak to that first. So I did a video about soulmates, soul connections, and I did an entire video about twin flames. And it's in my Uncover Your Soul's Purpose. What you don't know is holding you back. There is a playlist that goes 1 through 63, and it covers a myriad of spiritual concepts that were a download after I was on the other side on the winter solstice of 2020. So a lot of when I would be writing the scripts for these videos, they were being divinely downloaded and orchestrated. So what I will tell you from my own personal experiences, first of all, we have many, many, many soulmates. They're male, female. I think that we have a very small cluster of souls that are at our exact precise vibration. And I'm talking about for eons. And it's a small number. I think it's less than 20. It's probably less than 15. And I don't think that many of them incarnate with us at the same time. What a twin flame is supposed to be is they're supposed to be the yin male and the female version of each other. So if you took a soul that was fully male and fully female, and you cut it in half and had divine feminine and divine masculine, that would be the twin flame. What I understand about them is that they did not used to incarnate at the same time, because when they come together, their purpose is not to have this blissful union. It is to have a mirror that you're holding up to each other. And the purpose of the mirror is to ask the other to bring the highest version of themselves in, which usually fails miserably, causing one to run and the other to pursue. And the magnetic connection is so strong, it is overwhelming. I always say I would never wish a twin flame relationship on anybody. It is going to hell and back. And I think that we also have levels of twin flames. I had an oracle that I went to maybe like 9 years ago, and she was talking about 7 levels of twin flames. So if you're like good, better, best, because we have that judgment on earth, you have more evolved and less evolved. And when you meet one, if you're not in the same place of evolvement, you are going to repel each other, but you are going to get something magnificent out of it. So I had a twin flame connection with this man named Will, who I met in 2017 and I was with for 2.5 years. And it was the highest evolved spiritual conversations. And he was the one that brought me to the medicine. So if you've heard me talk about my 5-MeO DMT journeys, he was it. But ultimately, I was holding the mirror and we were not in the same place. And spirituality was a little bit newer for him. And he was trying to fast track it with these medicines like ayahuasca and San Pedro and psilocybin and whatever he get his hands on to try and fast track because he didn't want to do the work. And so it was a repelling and it was a very, very hurtful disintegration of the relationship. But for the first 1.5 years, every day I would wake up and think about him and be like, fuck you, Will. That was what I said. It was terrible. I was awful. I just couldn't get over this, that he did what he did to me. But now many, many years passed. I am so grateful.
Can you say that on YouTube?
Yes, of course you can. Fuck yes, you can, Kristen. Sorry for everybody if that offends you, but I don't know. I have a potty mouth sometimes. I don't. So, but what I am so grateful for, like that relationship totally happened to me. I learned more about myself in that relationship than many others, but it also brought me to these journeys that have allowed me to excel beyond any experience I could ever have imagined for myself. And so now when I think of this person, I only send love and light and gratitude for us coming together to have that experience. But I had to write a whole book called Once a Cheater. So I did. You remember?
Yeah.
A little too much about me. Okay.
No.
So Kristen, you can also speak to Twin Flame if you want to. I mean, I don't know how much experience you've had,
Right.
you know about my stuff, but.
Right. I do. So I mean, from what I've gotten from Sophia, from this wisdom, is that the twin flames, like Laurie said, they come in and they go and they actually get different experiences through life. And if they, and so supposedly from what I'm getting is now, because we're in this dimensional shift, we're in this age of awakening, more twin flames are coming together after they've done their work of gathering their different experiences. They're coming together to help raise the vibration of the earth. I do admit that I agree with Laurie that they're very tumultuous relationships because they push you to become better. And it's a mirror and it's a lot of pain, but you are actually learning to come back into love for you because again, from what I got from these wisdom messages is we are all perfect, complete as we came here. And we are pure love is what I'm getting from these messages. And we came to earth and we got free will. And then we started to seek outside of ourselves for love. And that's that trying to gather money, people, places to fill this void that actually is complete and it's inside of us. So I think a lot of times the twin flames will repel and push you so much that you will cause you to come into perfect alignment with you. And then supposedly, from what I'm getting is once you come into your full alignment, then if the twin flames come together, that love will help elevate and support this evolutionary shift that we're in. And I know, again, sounds really out there, but that's what I've gotten from Sophia.
Yeah, so it's been romanticized, but it is not a romantic thing. It is
better to have
go
a
for a regular soulmate. Go for the regular old soulmates. Much better. Much better. Okay. Quick question. I think this is funny, Tammy, that you're bringing this up. Have you ladies read or studied A Course in Miracles? Right before we got on here, I needed to elevate the computer, and I used to have A Course in Miracles. My mom gave it to me years ago I opened it, I read like 1 or 2 pages of it, and I went,
Right.
nope, not for me, and put it back. But I used time when I would do these videos when I was at my old house where it had that spiral. If you watch the older videos with that spiral, the spiral design behind me, I would put it on A Course in Miracles. But no, I
What
have
is she
not.
saying about
She's asking if you've ever studied or read A Course of
Right.
Miracles. And then she has a secondary question, which I'll answer in a
Okay.
second. But I have not.
So I haven't like studied it full, but I do have it, and I do look at it quite often because it is the same thing we're talking about. I feel like the angelic realm, the heavenly realm is coming in several different, and I got that message. It's going to come in several different ways to try to teach us to let go of this reality that we've compressed so much. So in Course of Miracles, they're constantly deconstructing reality, that really there's no meaning to anything. There's no meaning to anything, and we create the meaning.
True.
And so that is the message that's coming back around again. And I just finished the quick guide to Sophia's wisdom that they had me do in 2 weeks. And I got that up on Amazon. I didn't write it. I just channeled it. That word. I just transcribed it. And now there's another one. I think I'm at like 57 entries that is going, they told me that I will be putting up on Amazon in June. And they said the same thing. It was kind of like that Course in Miracles type of manuscript, because it's a deconstruction of what we think reality is and coming into our power. We are creative beings, and that we get to create it. So we put meaning on it. And I believe, I haven't studied Course in Miracles completely, but I believe that might be about what that's about as well. Just, not placing, we place meaning on things. And when we're in misalignment to who we truly are, we create chaos. I mean, so we're here to learn. You guys got to think of this. We're in school. And I always think some people, you are taking some tough classes and you are so brave. If your life has been challenging, you are taking tough classes. And what I'm learning from this wisdom is every time you guys out there or any of us go through a tough situation, helping the collective learn. And so
90%.
What a beautiful thing that, thank you for everyone who has had tough lives, and the work I do. I can't believe what my clients have gone through over the last 9 years. I go, you guys are brave. And so to walk out of that toughness, that school, that compressed feeling of that you have been so wounded, takes an extremely brave person. And so they always say, don't worry. If you can't make your way out of that, you're still learning. And they want to thank you, is what I keep hearing. So there is no right or wrong path. There is no right or wrong path. If anyone thinks, I'm enlightened, look, I channel blah, 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 blah. You have missed the boat, because we all are in this together. And I would never think like, oh, Kristen, wow, no. Yeah. And
There's
I say,
no good,
watch
better, best.
Watch out for you guys ask for.
There's no good, better, best on the other
No.
side. It doesn't exist that way.
It just doesn't exist.
It's a human.
We're all here to walk each other home.
Yeah.
And your trials help us, and my trials help you, and your misalignments help, and your awakenings help. And we're just constantly helping each other, because we're all one, is what this message keeps saying.
Yeah.
We're all one.
Beautiful.
And I do have to say, my husband is an engineer, and he's like, Kristen, I'm not one with you and anyone. I'm like, it's okay. Then it's even okay if he doesn't.
Stop alarm.
If he doesn't realize, that's fine. I always tell him that's fine. We need people like you too in this world. So I'm the one out there, and he's the one more compressed, and we both are doing our part for reality. So, and same with you guys out there.
Tammy had a second part to her question. She asked where in my videos I talk about the medicines. So I did an interview with Jeff Mara like almost 4 years ago, I think. So if you go into the playlist where it says interviews featuring Laurie, I have a whole bunch of them. I think I have one where I was on Coast to Coast Radio. And most recently, I released an interview today with Lisa Wetz. And she asked me to be on her show. And yesterday she interviewed me, turned the tables, and I talked about my 24 now experiences with 5-MeO-DMT, which is the most powerful psychedelic on the planet. So we went pretty deep in that conversation, and that's going to be released, she said, mid-March of 2026, because I know these videos live forever.
And I do have to say, is she the one that just recently talked about Mother Gaia?
Yes.
Okay, so I personally haven't been watching anything, because I need to stay really clear. I haven't been drinking any alcohol like you guys. I'm doing the work for you. Like,
no wine for Kristen.
I'll take the hit. But But anyways, someone had showed me that she had just released something about how she's her and I don't know, like every now and then I'll just peek at her, the topic of what she's just saying. I don't go in and look, but it's like, yeah, she's getting the same information. So I haven't met her, but there is some intuitive downloads going on with people who are here up to teach us, to help us walk into this next stage. So I think she's the real deal.
She definitely is. I really, really connected with her. All right, we're going to look at a couple more of these, and then we're going to go because Kristen's got a 90-minute drive back to where she lives.
And I go to bed at 8:30.
You do. You're crazy. Not me. 11:30 early. Okay.
I wake up at 4 so I can get messages.
Okay. So
I do want to say something, you guys.
Yes.
From 4 to 6 are very, very highly intuitive message time. So if you want to start getting your antennas open, wake up from 4 to 6 and just set the intention to, get your journal and paper, try to relax yourself, release anything that no longer serves you, take some deep breaths and start to write down. And I bet you're going to get some pretty intuitive downloads.
Awesome.
From 4 to 6. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. When I was reading a course of reading Return to Love, Cliff Notes in the Course of Miracles, I had an angelic intervention that was a miracle that changed my life path. It was amazing. Oh, Kelly, that's awesome. Thank you
so much for sharing those,
15 years
because
ago.
that is so important that we start sharing these emotions, these times. And because we are the same, and just because you're not getting those angelic interventions doesn't mean you can't. It's just going to happen eventually for all of us. So thank you for sharing that. I love that.
Well, Blaze is coming in to close us out. So I think that messages that are in the comments, I'm so sorry if I didn't get to something or see something. I do go back and look at them. But thank you so much for your support. And I want to say to everybody who is watching, thank you so much for what you are doing to help wake up the collective.
Yes,
we know it is so needed right now. And so much gratitude to my beautiful inside and out friend, Kristen, for making the journey to come up here and do a live together. I just love you. I love our friendship. It's amazing.
Thank you. And I do want to say last just few words, no fear, walk like a mighty freaking warrior in what you do want in life, because you're creating reality, and design the life you do want. And every moment capture your thoughts and go, ooh, what am I thinking of? Because those subconscious thoughts will start to take us down that same path. All right. So then you're like, oh, isn't that interesting? I was thinking about that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get fired or whatever. Course correct yourself, release any fear, like, okay, thank you, fear, and move forward. It doesn't mean, I'm sorry, I've got to say this. It's so important. It doesn't mean not to feel your feelings. You must feel your feelings.
Why are you sorry about that?
Well, because I'm going on and on.
Oh, gosh,
I know we're trying to say,
I don't care.
So we must feel our feelings.
I'm not going to bed
do
at
the
8:30.
emotional freedom technique, feel the feelings. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling scared of this. I live in California, whatever it is. Get the feelings out. And then what do you want? And what they're saying is they're going to meet you there. So why don't we all become alchemists? Become an alchemist of your life.
Tell people it's important to get those feelings out. What do you work with every day with the body?
Right. So your feelings get stuck in the body and they cause an energy flow disruption in the tissues of your body. And I've done all this research of the science behind it, because I found it so fascinating when I started to get into this. I'm like, why are people coming to me with dementia and this and that? And yet I'm finding this deeper component of some stuck emotion. And once they release that, then their body starts to flow. And think of it like a car. You take the debris out of the engine that doesn't make it run. And then all of a sudden you can come into more self-healing, and your blood flow and your oxygen and your body can run the way it was designed. We were designed to self-heal. And I'm so thankful for medical institutions. That's not to say, but I try my best every day just to thank every single body part. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you're doing for me, because your body is listening to every cell. Your cell is listening to every thought you say. And that's Dr. Bruce Lipton's work. That's Dr. Carolyn Leaf's work. That's Dr. Candace Pert's work.
My Dr. Carolyn Mises.
Oh, Dr. Carolyn. Dr.
Mises
Candace Pert. Dr. Candace Pert. Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Carol, she's in medical intuitive.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Carolyn Mays.
That's
next.
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Okay, now she's smelling me. I must put my armpit. No, I'm just kidding.
She loves this smell.
Okay, it's time
She's
to
a
time to
hunting
go.
dog. She's a
I'm
hunting
gonna hold
dog.
her nose
All right,
here.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday
Okay,
at 5
thank
p.m.
you.
Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. So
Thank you so much. Bye. Look at her. Me.